Hello, investors and traders. Welcome to today's unusual option activity video series brought to you by Market Action app. Quickly, for those who don't know what unusual option activity is buying of particular option contract outside its normal behavior. These can be calls that are being bought, which are bullish, or puts that are being bought, which are bearish. And we have in our app, we have algorithms built in that help you track some of these unusual options that are being traded in real time, so you can follow these. Whoever's trading this might know something about the stock, or there might be some technical setups that are being made where the stock could see an upside move or a downside move. Make sure you check out our app and sign up for a free trial so you can learn more about unusual option activity and trade these in real time. So without further ado, let's jump in. Here's a quick disclaimer. This presentation is for educational purposes only, and this is not investment advice. Let's go ahead and quickly recap some of the option activity that we had covered in our previous videos, and they have been really amazing. SPCE, so this one we covered in both of our videos. Once when it hit, which was a few days ago, 3 days ago, and yesterday as well when it when it actually traded down a little bit with the whole Russia news that was happening in the background. And but it did not pull back so much, and we saw open interest was still there. So whoever bought these was still in them. Sometimes you have to hold these a little bit longer to really realize the gains. So yesterday this was trading at about 0.76, and today where's it trading? It's trading at $1.85. We entered these at around 0.80, and these even traded as high as $1.90. But essentially, you doubled your money. The stock closed today somewhere around $10.73. There's still some more room to go, but just boom, like it just took off after all the news we had around the sticker yesterday, and even it was trending on social media, which we also covered in our morning bite video. Make sure you check those out before pre-market. So this was just something where a lot of buzz came along with the news, and this traded up, and we still have some rooms to go. However, anything when it's about more than 100%, you want to realize and capture your gains, or even roll it out for credit, so you can lock in some of these profits, because stocks can, as soon as it can go up, it can go down anytime with the quick news bite. So whenever you have profits, make sure you lock them in. So we'll be watching this further as well, but just amazing, boom, and like quickly you doubled your money in about 3 days. That's how you trade unusual activity. This one also we have been covering, and just this was even much better. We entered these calls for AMAT. I covered this in a previous video once again, so make sure you're subscribed so you can stay on top of these as we find more of these and share them with you. We entered these calls around $3.50. Where are these trading today? These are trading today, and they traded as high as $10.90. Now, every option contract controls 100 shares. So $10.90 for an option contract, you would multiply that by 100. So it's actually $1,090. So initially, you bought these contracts for $350. If you bought one contract, that contract is now worth $1,080. $80. Wow, it would be amazing if it's 10,000, but regardless, this is like 200% in just 2 days, and just boom, here you go, 200% gains. Now, something more on this unusual option activity. We saw more calls being bought. So we were in the 135. We saw more unusual options being traded for 145 calls, as well as some puts being traded. Looks like a bit of a hedge. Uh, so there is still some upside call buying coming in this, something to watch out for. It's best to roll out of these options to 145s, or even something more slightly out to lock in your profits. But just amazing. And here's another one that we covered in our previous videos, FCX. Like I said, sometimes you just have to be patient with these options, especially long dated options where you have time for these to actually turn profitable. So we got into these contracts at around, I think, dollar 30, and not dollar 30. Sorry. Let me check quickly. Oh, so we got these in at around $1.75, the 45 calls, and they're now trading at $1.28, which is a quick 25% gain in just a few days on a very, very cheap contract. So that's really good, and it still has some ways to go, as well as a lot of time. This one is another one that we saw yesterday at calls being bought right around the close, and this one moved up pretty rapidly as well. Uh, these contracts are actually now in the money. The stock traded above 200, and it's closed at around 208 or 209 in after hours. We entered these calls at around $13.50, and you have essentially turned once again $1,350 into $2,000 in just one day. This once again is the power of how you trade unusual option activity. Somebody always knows before the stock is going to move, and they are going to place their bets. So let's look at some of the unusual option activity for today. So here we see Roblox, RBLX ticker. This had a lot of option activity going into its earnings. I generally tend to not trade too many earnings or hold options through earnings because it's really a coin flip, and sometimes you have to really quick because of options do increase in price based on implied volatility or IV, which will boost up the premiums. So, like I said, sometimes you have to be quick. We entered these and exited these really quickly. We saw a lot of call buying coming in the last hour, as I've seen here. In our app, you can actually see by every hour which if calls or puts are being traded, and it kind of gives you this trend line. As you can see, we highlighted over here how in the last hour we saw a lot of call buying coming in. So what we decided to jump into $100 calls, which were fairly cheap at for literally $1, which is $100. $1 per contract is $100, and we entered them right as I show it here, and we exited right before the close for $1.60. So there was a quick 60% gains, literally in 30 minutes of today's trading. The goal was to take advantage of the IV bump in contract pricing as we go into earnings for a highly anticipated stock. We saw a lot of significant call buying calls being bought all the way up from $70, $80, $90, even $100. There were also some put buyers buying $1.60 put contracts as the stock did ran up before the earnings. The earnings did disappoint, and the put buyers won if you're still holding the puts. And if you're still holding the calls, the IV crush or the drop in implied volatility will eat most of your premium if they're really far out the money, as these $100 contracts. Which is why earnings are always a coin toss, and you have to be very careful. Okay, here's a ticker that I really like, and I'm personally in the stock as well. We saw a lot of unusual activity in China Internet ETFs. KWEB is a ETF ticker that tracks overseas China uh, internet-based businesses or internet-related technology companies. Right here, you can see what are the tickers that are part of this ETF. Here are some of the top 10 ones: Tencent, Baidu, Alibaba, JD, Trip.com, Pinduo, KE, so on and so forth. Now, these contracts have already moved up. However, they're slightly still away from being in the money. So, something to watch out for. The contracts that were traded at were $1.41 strikes and $1.39 strikes at about some were 16 days to expiration, some are 57 days to expiration, but the $1.41s are really cheap. And these contracts have already moved up about 42% during the day. And you can see the volume here is just amazing. 11,000 of these were traded today. So we'll see what the open interest comes out tomorrow. Here's the next one, and the last one. Uber. Uber had a lot of upside call buying. However, they're still not in the money. One of the contracts was the 3750 calls and the 40 calls, which were being traded today. The stock went as close to $37. However, in after hours, just pulling back a little bit might give us, if it does pull back and then tries to run up again, might give you a good lower entry on some of these calls, and something to watch out for to see if does the stock break down or does the stock continue towards these call strikes. As you can see, some of these calls have already moved quite a bit. Some of them have a lot of open interest. The volume has been still there, so the $1.40 call still has a lot of open interest, a lot of time as well on these. These are out in April, and the some of them are in May as well, which is the 3750 calls. The premium on the April ones is a little bit more digestible for me versus uh, the ones in May. However, both have a lot of interest and a lot of volume. Something to watch out for as the stock makes moves for tomorrow. And one thing you can always do for some of these is instead of just buying the contract, you can actually buy it as a spread, where you buy an upside call. Say, for example, you buy a $1.40 call, you can sell a $1.45 call against it to make it cheaper, as well as kind of help you from any downside moves that might happen in the short term. Another note, we also saw similar upside call buying in Lyft as well. And this brings us to a quick reminder. Make sure you visit marketaction.live and check out our app where you can track some of this unusual option activity in real time. I only bring out the ones that I feel and personally would be looking into and watching going into the everyday trading. But do sign up. It's completely risk-free. And also check out our mobile app, which is currently in beta, and you can get access for it free for now. Quick reminder also, we have another video series called Pre-Market Morning Bite, where we go over what's moving before the market opens every day and cover some of the tickers as well as some unusual options that you can watch out for. and get ready for your trading day. Once again, thank you for watching. Please click subscribe below and also click the bell icon to get notified. This helps us kind of show up higher in algorithms. And if you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, or Twitch, feel free to comment. Share this with fellow traders who can benefit from trading some of the unusual option activity or learn about unusual option activity. Well, thanks again for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. And until then, take care and trade responsibly.